My boss fired me for rejecting his advances, so I became his son's girlfriend. So, picture this. 24F, was working at one of those fancy corporate offices where everyone pretends to be professional until the doors close. And my boss, let's call him Mr. Bennett, 46M, married, powerful, and with the kind of charm that makes you second-guess yourself. At first, he was all compliments. "You're my best employee. You've got such a bright future here." But then the compliments turned into comments. Then the comments turned into invitations. And when I said no, he turned into my worst nightmare for weeks. He'd hover behind my desk, brushing accidentally against my shoulder, finding reasons to keep me late. I started dressing differently, keeping my hair tied back, avoiding eye contact, but it didn't stop him. One Friday, he told me to stay behind after everyone left. I thought it was about a project. Instead, he said, "If you just relaxed a little around me, I could make sure you get that promotion." My stomach dropped. I told him I wasn't interested, that I wanted to keep things professional. He smiled, fake and tight, and said, "Then I guess you don't need to be here anymore."
Just like that. Fired.
No warning.
No acere.
Just gone. I was angry, humiliated. But I wasn't about to let him destroy me. 2 weeks later, I went out with friends to clear my head. New bar, new vibe. That's when I met Ethan. Charming, funny, kind. The kind of guy who actually listens when you talk. We hit it off instantly. We talked for hours, and by the end of the night, he said, "You've got this fire about you. I want to see you again." I smiled for the first time in weeks. Little did I know, fate was about to throw me the biggest plot twist of my life. A few dates later, I went to his house for dinner. Nervous but excited. We're laughing, sipping wine. He excuses himself to grab dessert, and then I hear footsteps. I look up, and standing in the doorway is Mr. Bennett, Ethan's dad. The man who fired me for rejecting him, the same man who made my life hell, was the father of the guy I'd been seeing for weeks. He froze. I froze. Ethan came back in, totally unaware. And in that moment, I smiled. Because for once, the power had shifted. Now I'm sitting there, pretending not to know who his father is, while Mr. Bennett looks like he's seen a ghost. He can't say a word without exposing himself, and I can tell he's terrified I will.
So what do I do now?
Do I tell Ethan the truth? Do I keep playing innocent and make his father sweat? Or do I take this game to a whole new level? Part 2. So yeah, my ex-boss, the same man who fired me for rejecting him, turned out to be my new boyfriend's dad. And now, I'm at their dinner table, smiling politely, while he can't even look me in the eye. Life's poetic sometimes, isn't it? Ethan's mom was lovely, warm, welcoming, totally unaware of the storm brewing at her table. But Mr. Bennett? He looked like he was about to choke on his steak. He kept fumbling his words, sweating, giving these death glares when Ethan wasn't looking. Every time he asked me a question, I'd answer with that polite, innocent tone. "Oh, we've met before. He used to be my boss. He taught me so much about what not to do in the workplace." His wife laughed, not realizing what I meant. But Mr. Bennett did. And I could tell. He was terrified. After that dinner, I decided I wasn't just going to date Ethan. I was going to make Mr. Bennett live in constant fear. At family brunches, I'd drop little hints only he would understand. Like, "I really value honesty and respect at work."
Or,
"Boundaries are so important, don't you think, Mr. Bennett?" Every time, he'd flinch. His hand would tighten around his coffee mug. He'd excuse himself early, pretending to take calls. Meanwhile, Ethan and I were getting closer. And the closer we got, the more Mr. Bennett unraveled. One night, I came over to Ethan's place, and his dad pulled me aside. He said, "End this. Whatever you think you're doing, it won't end well for you." I just smiled and said, "You should have thought about endings before you fired me for saying no." He turned pale. He knew exactly what I meant. Then came the family vacation. Ethan invited me to their beach house, and guess who had to share the space with me for a week? Mr. Bennett. And oh, I made sure to be extra nice around his wife, helping her cook, laughing at her jokes, taking photos for their happy family album, all while giving Mr. Bennet the calmest, most knowing smirk every time she looked away. He was unraveling. You could see it in the way he avoided me, the tension in his jaw, the fake smile that was starting to crack. It all came to a head one night. Ethan was out getting drinks with friends. I was in the kitchen when Mr. Bennet finally snapped. He cornered me and hissed, "You think this is funny? You're ruining my family." I leaned in and whispered, "No, Mr. Bennet. I'm not ruining your family. I'm just part of it now." His wife walked in right then, just enough to see him standing too close, too angry. Her eyes narrowed. The seed was planted. Now Ethan's starting to notice the tension. His mom's suspicious. And Mr. Bennet? He's barely holding it together. But I'm not done.
Not yet.
Because soon he's going to know exactly what it feels like to lose everything. Part 3. So remember my old boss, the one who fired me after I rejected him, and how I started dating his son Ethan. Well, everything finally exploded. And when I tell you this man's entire life came crashing down, I mean it. After that family vacation, things were tense. Mr. Bennet avoided me like the plague. His wife kept watching us both with suspicion. And Ethan's sweet, innocent Ethan just thought his dad didn't like me. One night, Ethan came over to my apartment crying. He said, "My mom's been acting weird. My dad's been on edge. Did something happen between you two?" I looked him right in the eyes and said, "Ethan, you deserve the truth." I didn't tell him everything at once. I started slow. How his dad was my boss. How he treated me unfairly. How he fired me for reasons that weren't professional. And then, I showed him the emails. The accidental, late-night messages. The one where Mr. Bennet said, "No one would believe you anyway." Ethan's hands were shaking. He didn't want to believe it, but there it was. His father, exposed in black and white. He stormed out that night, straight home. And I don't know exactly what happened in that house. But the next morning, my phone was blowing up. Apparently, Ethan confronted his dad in front of his mom, screaming, shouting. The wife demanded answers, and when she saw the proof I sent Ethan, she lost it. The next day, the company's HR department received an anonymous folder full of everything. The texts, the emails, the reason I got fired, everything. Within a week, Mr. Bennet stepped down to focus on family matters. Translation? He got fired from his own company. Ethan and I tried to make it work for a while, but the truth destroyed him. He couldn't look at me without thinking of what his dad did. Eventually, we ended things, no anger, just sadness. Mr. Bennet's wife filed for divorce 2 months later. Took the house. Took half the assets. And last I heard, he's living in a rental on the outskirts of town, trying to find another job in a city where everyone knows what he did. As for me, I got my dream job at another firm. A real one, no creeps, no games. Sometimes, I still get the occasional text from an unknown number saying, "Was it worth it?" And every time I just smile. Because yes,
It was.
I didn't destroy his life. He destroyed it himself. I just made sure everyone saw the truth.